In this video, I'm going to overview Unit 3 and Project 3. So you can see the large view here of the assignments for each week. There's 4 weeks in Unit 3. The project will be developing the promotion of the Student Design Show. That event will be held in April, and actually it will be the week after the end of the spring semester. We have students in the graphic program develop the promotion of the Student Design Show. I've got many examples of this. Some of the deliverables are a poster to promote the show, a postcard, which would involve both sides of the postcard, a t-shirt graphic, and then also the graphic which would be lasered on the award, which would be given out for all the first place winners in the show itself. So let's go ahead and take a look. I'm going inside of the unit folder. We have the project sheet and a couple timesheet files that you can choose one just to track your time. This project is 100 points. And overview, develop a campaign for the 2022 Student Design Show. And of course, the design show will be virtual. And so last year we did it YouTube Live and through Zoom, so kind of both of them together. So what we are doing is developing I call it a logo theme. So it's the look, which typically would be the name of the event, Student Design Show. Of course, the year would be part of that. There could be some other elements around that, what I call the logo or look for the show promotion. You can see here, these are the deliverables for this particular project. So you'll be creating a poster, postcard, an award layout, and then a t-shirt graphic. I have the link for our program's website right here. There are, I believe, 10 plus years worth of photos and videos of previous student design shows are hosted on this, our graphic communications website. So here are some of the specifics. So the poster would be 11 by 17. You can go with either orientation of being portrait or landscape. Postcard, you can choose the size. I have a few listed here: 4 by 6, 5 by 7, or letter half, which is 8.5 by 5.5. And then with the t-shirt graphic, you have a maximum of 3 spot colors. And the award graphic you would take your look logo element and then convert it into black and white. So all of these deliverables, of course, would all share in the look of them, and so that would be the challenge. Part of the challenge with this project is being consistent with the look throughout these different deliverables. Required elements, of course, the year. I'm leaving it up to you whether or not you want to put the term virtual on the layout. Of course, Student Design Show, add district wide. That may, usually it goes above Student Design Show, the word district wide. And what that's speaking of is Walworth County students in Elkhorn, and then Racine in Kenosha. So it's the two districts of the college. And then the following text, so award and recognition night, the date, what we're using as the delivery, and the time, and of course the Gateway logo needs to be on, doesn't have to be on the t-shirt, but it will need to be on the poster, postcard, and actually it does not have to go on the award either, okay? So then what I'm saying is the Gateway logo needs to be placed on both the poster and the postcard. The software is up to you. You could either use Illustrator or InDesign in creating your layout. So I have provided vector files for the Gateway logo, and actually there's three versions, black, white, and then the two-color version. You will have to include the EOE statement. It can be a smaller point value, especially on the postcard. So it could maybe go to an 8 point. All right, so this must be on both the poster and the postcard layout. If you so desire, you could list the type of work that will be on display with the show. You don't have to include this list, but it might be something that you would want to include because it does somewhat explain what the show is about. There have been some people that have used icons instead of the words for the different categories within the show. All right. Here's examples of submissions. So out of the advanced problems class, this project is compiled with of course, with the online, all of you, and then the face-to-face class, and there's two of those, one on Elkhorn and one on Racine. So it ends up being three classes are submitting graphics for the promotion of the show. We then send that out for people to vote on, and then one particular design is chosen and will be used to promote the show. So that's how that works. So I've got examples here, examples in this folder. Then what we are doing as part of the assignment also is creating a project development plan. And actually this is pretty nice. So it's basically pulling everything together that that is created in this class, the research that would take place, the development of your graphics, so thumbnails, roughs, your studies, final layouts. So basically, it's then output as a PDF. So this particular document that we're going to be looking at here could be done in either InDesign or Illustrator. So you just simply drag in these assignments. So the creative brief, I'll show you that in a minute. So that was included in this project development, and then part of the research. This is another assignment, which we'll look at in a minute. More research. Here's research on possible award types that could be used. So what we do is students submit ideas for the awards. We choose one design, and then the awards are purchased, and then we take them to the Fab Lab and they are lasered with the graphic. Here are thumbnails, font study. They didn't do a color study on here, but I'm having you do a color study. Rough layouts. You can see these are posters. These are all roughs. I'm having you do 3. Tight comp. I'm having you do color and font study, 3 rough layouts, final layouts. That's what I'm having you do. So we'll deviate a little bit from this example. So tight comp would be final layout. So this is what the postcard ended up looking like. We're not doing tags. They would be put on the actual mounted project when we used to have the show in person in like a gallery setting. Since COVID, we've been doing our student design show virtual. Here's the final poster, postcards. We're not doing the tags. Here's the award graphic. I'm not having you, oh, I am having you do a timesheet. Oh, that's it. Okay, so that is one of the assignments. Let me get back to that. There we go. So here's the example of the project, which development plan that we just looked at. That is not due until November 17th, okay? But let's take a look at October 27th. So again, I repeated posting that example of the project development plan. I think it's helpful just to kind of see that because you will be creating one. I've added the t-shirt graphic to that plan. I think for the most part, mine's pretty much the same as this. There's a few differences. All right, so you're filling out the design brief. We saw an example of that in the project development plan. It just overviews this project and some research. So you'll research event posters or design show posters. You may want to include college design show poster in your research. Then whatever you find when you do your Google search, you'll identify the posters that you think work well. Then you'll drag those onto this Word document. Do the same thing here with trends. So search print trends or poster design trends or something like that, and then your findings you'll drag onto this Word doc. And then the research on the awards, and so you could search acrylic awards, wood awards, metal awards. We can laser on any of those. Glass, I would say it's actually easier to laser on acrylic than glass, so I would stick with the acrylic. Then your thumbnails, and that's for the logo graphic look of your promotion graphic, and then of course confirming that you have critiqued everyone's. So I'm going to go back to Nancy's just to kind of look at the thumbnails so you get an idea. So you can see, she has a few other elements here on her thumbnails, but primarily it's student design show and of course the year. So you can kind of get a sense of a thumbnail for this particular project. All right. So that's the 27th. November 3rd. Your color and font studies. And then I have some suggestions here how you do that. So this unit's pretty focused on the project and really not a heck of a lot else you'll be working on, but it's primarily focused on this project. And then November 10th, rough layouts 3. You're doing rough layouts of the poster and of the postcard. And then with the postcard, you're doing a front and the back. There are examples of what would go on the back. Sometimes specific information would go on the back of the postcard, and maybe student design show would go on the front with the graphic, maybe the date. Okay, so you can kind of divvy up what you feel is important to go on the front, and then what detail information would go on the back. And then the last week. Here's an example with the postcard. So, of course, on the front of the postcard, you have the entire area. But on the back of a postcard, you only have the first third panel, okay? So simply divide your postcard into thirds, and you have the first third to place graphics. And the reason for this is when the postcard runs through the scanning device at the post office, if there were to be graphics all over the place on the side where they scan, it would mess up. It wouldn't scan properly. So this is pretty typical that with a postcard that's going to be mailed, that you only have the left third to do your layout, and then it must be in black and white or grayscale. And then you're doing the additional layouts are the t-shirt graphic and the award. So again, the deliverables are the poster layout, postcard layout, two sides of the postcard. And then the additional layout would be t-shirt graphic and then the artwork that would go on the award. I do have some Photoshop mock-ups here for the t-shirt that you can take your graphic and put it into one of these mock-ups. And here is the assignment link for uploading your project development plan, and then of course the paperwork with the design brief, project evaluation, and your timesheet. If you have any questions, please contact me.